Alright guys, so I know that this news is a little less than a month old, however, I'm going to talk about the details, not only with Ukraine, but with other countries such as Georgia and the Baltics that are also scheduled to receive Javelin anti-tank missiles from brand new contracts with the Trump administration. So with that said, let's get started. So just a quick note about what the system complex is. The Javelin anti-tank guided missile system is a fairly new wireless ATGM platform. Developed and manufactured by Raytheon and Lockheed Martin, it is in service with the US military since 1996 and uses what they call a fire and forget system, meaning one target is locked on, it does not need further manual guidance from the operator. The missiles use high explosive anti-tank shaped charge, or heat, as well as a tandem charge. As to be more effective, the heat missiles usually have two or more separate warheads. The first is to penetrate the reactive armor of a tank, followed by a larger warhead to penetrate the armor below it. What's modern about the Javelin missile complex is that it is designed to guide itself to hit the target from above rather than the side or the rear, because the top of the turret is the weakest point of armor, as well as where the crew is based. Basically, it is a lethal complex that aims for more than just disabling a tank, but completely destroy it along with the crew, and this includes most of Russia's tanks in its arsenal. Now, about the deliveries. The Trump administration, as of Q4 2017, sent out shipments of Javelin complexes as well as missiles to multiple countries, not just Ukraine. Countries that are either in NATO or pro-NATO, and geographically happen to border, and in this case, surround Russia. So let's talk about in detail who received these systems. On November 21st, 2017, it was announced that the US State Department approved a sale to Georgia for $75 million. 410 Javelin missiles with 72 command launch units, or CLUs, 70 simulated rounds for training, as well as 10 US skill trainers are coming with the package, which also includes technical support, assistance, and even transportation of the systems, shipping and handling if you will. It is obvious that $75 million for the complete package, including training, is at a discounted price, and Georgia is already considering of purchasing additional munitions for the Javelin complex. A month later, on December 23rd, it was announced that the Trump administration, completely free of charge, as some medias called it an early Christmas gift, approved a shipment which was also reported to already be en route to Ukraine. Ukraine is receiving about half of what Georgia is receiving. However, this is the first time that Ukraine has officially received lethal weapons from the US government, whereas before all government military aid was non-lethal, such as armor suits and Humvees, and lethal aid was usually done through private organizations and parties. What was en route to Ukraine and is probably already delivered, even though as of yet there is no official news or footage of them receiving the delivery yet, is 210 Javelin missiles with 35 command launcher units, CLUs, worth at $47 million but given completely for free. Up until the end of 2017, the total value amount of training and non-lethal aid to Ukraine was worth around $750 million. Ukraine War Awareness analyzes that this is more of a political move rather than a strategical move against Russia. And by that, let me explain. The current ceasefire, while frail and with violations from both sides constantly occurring, the conflict still hasn't seen the use of tanks and heavy armor since the Battle of the Balsava in February of 2015. If there was any usage afterwards of tanks by either side, it was definitely on a very small scale. By my estimates, 1 or 2 units max. Because there was a claim by the Donetsk People's Republic, DPR, in mid-2015 with footage of an alleged captured Ukrainian T-64 tank modernized with Western interior equipment inside of a Donetsk armor plant. The claim was made by Edward Basurin, the head of spokesman for the DPR, that the tank was captured in late August of 2015 during a provocation and small clash. But this is getting a little bit off topic now. The other reason why this is more political instead of strategical is because Ukraine already has a variety of next-generation guided missile systems, including Barrier and Skiff. Skiff is the Ukrainian version of the Belarusian Javelin ATGM that was developed by Luch Design Bureau and is claimed by them jointly with Belarusian developers. Javelin was developed and produced in 2010, whereas the Ukrainian Skiff in 2011. I will leave a video link in the description of my earlier upload showing the characteristics of Javelin and its firing and action. But in short, the Skiff also has autonomous tracking of enemy targets, it can hit low-flying aircraft and UAVs, and it also changes the altitude to not only hit the target from the top, but avoid environmental obstacles such as a forest. It also has 2 warheads, a heat and a tandem warhead. It has features that even the Javelin doesn't have, where the operator of Javelin or Skiff can control and fire the complex from up to 50 meters away from it, meaning if the ATGM complex is spotted and destroyed, the crew is safe elsewhere. And this is actually a unique Belarusian development that is not shared neither by the Javelin nor by the Russian Kornet wireless ATGM. Skiff can also be applied to vehicles and even up to 4 units per vehicle, known as the Javelin Q, much similar to Russia's Kornet D. The Barrier ATGM shares similar properties, but it is exclusively a vehicle attachment. So now let's move on to the NATO countries that already have the Javelin missile complex. In December 2015, Lithuania ordered 220 Javelin missiles with 74 CLUs for $55 million from the US, as well as 88 Boxer armored vehicles from Germany armed with Israeli Spike-LR missiles, which is Israel's next generation ATGM. Estonia in 2016 put into service 350 Javelin missiles with 120 launchers, and Latvia owns 12 Spike-LR ATGMs. Officially, it doesn't own any Javelins as of yet, but it is constantly shown to be trained by US forces in using the Javelin systems as per NATO's Rapid Response Resolve. So in summary, Ukraine and Georgia were the last steps of having Russia surrounded by advanced next-generation ATGMs and to tackle Russia's aggression. But in the case of the Baltics, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, receiving so many new systems since being NATO members since 2004, as well as EU members, I personally don't ever see Russia attacking the Baltics as an attack on one NATO nation is an attack on all NATO nations, including the US. The situation in Georgia has been relatively calm since 2008, despite the Russian military presence in the unrecognized regions of South Ossetia and Abkhazia. And as for Ukraine, while frail, the ceasefire is still holding, with only minor territorial changes occurring. Territorial changes that are actually in favor for Ukraine, such as Shirokino and Zaitseva in 2016. And if there would be to name a high rise in political escalation of 2017, this would be it. Thank you for watching this video. Ukraine War Awareness will keep bringing and analyzing significant news of the conflict. This channel is not dead and will be providing new and more content very soon. Not just about the conflict and news, but also technological news and innovations of Eastern Europe, i.e. Ukraine and Russia. If you liked the video, please hit that like button and subscribe to stay tuned for the latest uploads and content uploaded by this channel.